This balcony was close to collapse, so I engineered an Edwardian balustrade built to last. But the design principles behind it apply to almost any outdoor timber railing. When I started, this one was in dire straits. The structural steel supporting it had completely rusted away, and failure was a real possibility. Rather than just rebuild another balcony, I wanted to solve the problems that had caused all the issues in the first place. So I designed a traditional Edwardian style timber balustrade, but engineered with modern thinking. The design principles were simple. Keep all the timber clear of standing water, eliminate anywhere water could pool, and make the entire balustrade fully demountable and serviceable, so any part can be replaced in minutes. Spindles out in seconds, handrails off in seconds, and the posts removable in minutes. So if anything ever fails, and it shouldn't because I'm preventing rot, but if it does, it can be quickly swapped out and replaced. I'll show you how I built it. Before I could think about any carpentry, the structural issues had to be dealt with. The rusted RSJ was removed and a new steel went in. One nice improvement in the redesign was that the balcony slab now sits within the web of the new steel rather than sitting on top of it. However, the new streamlined design meant I needed to cut and install additional bath stone to build up the bay window to the new height of the deck. After that, the brickwork needed to be tidied up to hide the structural fixes. Here I'm cutting brick slips which are used to hide the pad stones we inserted for the steel. Brackets were then fitted to receive the balustrade posts. I'm using these Simpson strong tie post brackets. They keep the timber up off the floor to prevent rot. Then the steel was clad and the balcony surface screeded. The balcony deck needed to be waterproof, trafficable and maintainable. So I used a liquid membrane system with a fiberglass mesh embedded in it. This creates a seamless waterproof surface. Drainage was another important detail. Off-the-shelf gutters would have looked dreadful here. Nothing kills the elegance of an Edwardian facade faster than some guttering bolted to it. So I designed a bespoke drainage solution and had a friend fabricate it in aluminium. Looking from below, you don't realise it's there. It looks like part of the balcony structure rather than an afterthought. Anyway, finally I could get on to the fun bit, making the balustrade. So let's start with the posts. Here are my plans for the posts, and even though they look Edwardian, I want the materials and engineering to be modern. These things need to last, so I came up with a composite design solution. The core of the post is made of treated timber. Here I'm fixing them to the Simpson strong tie brackets, which lift the timber clear of the deck. That matters because timber sitting directly in water is asking for trouble. Lift it clear, allow drainage and airflow, and longevity improves dramatically. And in any event, I want every component to be replaceable. These brackets allow for that. Here I am testing the removal process. The structural core is then fully clad in medite tricoya. And before the comments come in, no, this is not MDF. Tricoya is a very different beast altogether. It's dimensionally stable, highly durable, and carries a 50-year above ground guarantee. You're supposed to be able to drop it in the sea for 20 years with no dimensional changes. So for external cladding work like this, it's superb. I created the inset panels in my design by mitre folding a further layer of tricoya. Here I'm cutting the mitre. Now I'm folding them. While the glue sets, I'm holding them at a right angle with some masking tape. Then they get glued onto the posts as well. And when I attach these infill pieces, the inset panels finally take shape. I'm using stainless steel pins, by the way. Always use them on external work. Now you can see your posts are starting to take shape. Here's the post structure in cross section. Treated structural timber inside, fully clad with a Tricoya shell on the outside. Right, just a few decorative details to finish off now. This stepped trim is typical of Edwardian design. Again, it's mitre folded around the post. You can see the finished effect on the posts in the background there. Last of all, I'm creating boots for the bottom. Same process as everything else. It really finishes the design off and makes the posts look classy. But they also perform another function. They hide the demountable fixing holes. Just because I've got clever fixings doesn't mean I want to see them. Now, like everything else, the handrails need to be fully removable too. So this is the first half of the fixing system, the part attached to the post. The clever bit is how the matching piece in the handrail locks onto it, but I'll show you that shortly. Here's the post side fixing in more detail. It's basically a keyhole slot. Time for a bit of painting. Right, let's get those posts on the balcony. Lovely. Now onto the handrails. I had some lovely pieces of sweet chestnut down the shed. And in my humble opinion, sweet chestnut is one of the finest timbers for exterior joinery. Durable, stable and beautiful. As you can see, I'm starting with rough, live edge boards, so I need to mill it. First I get a straight edge. Then I cut it to rough dimensions on the table saw. The final jointing I did by hand. Yes, machines can be faster, but I love using my plane. Keeps my strength up and skills sharp as I get older. Plus, it doesn't make any dust. I'm making sure it's flat and the surfaces are square to each other. A few lost calories later and they're all dimensioned and glassy smooth. Since these are handrails, I profiled the top edges to make them comfortable to hold. No one wants a sharp-edged handrail. While I've got my router out, I put a rebate in the bottom to accept the spindles and infill pieces. Here's the finished cross section. Yep, more painting I suppose now. Right, let's show you how these handrails are going to attach to the posts. This is where the demountable design really starts to make sense. Right, this is how the zip bolt slip fix rail bolt works. You've got a gear housing and you've got a shaft which slots into the gear housing, and when this is all inserted in the woodwork like so, you can use a drill in the gear housing here and that pulls the shaft in and out. It's incredible the pressure it will attain. You can get a really tight fixing with this. You'll see me using it in a moment. So to be clear, that shaft poking out of the handrail pulls tight against this keyhole I fitted to the post earlier. So here I'm preparing the handrail to take the fix in. I'm using a rule along the top to act as a rough guide to help me keep the drilling close to perpendicular to the face. This is what it should look like when you've finished. Righto, let's get them on the posts. Lovely. Now rinse and repeat. Here, to ensure absolute accuracy, I'm marking my handrail to be cut according to the exact position of the posts. Final checks and everything is hunky-dory. Brilliant, I'm a happy camper now. Only the spindles and base rail to go now. Oh, I'm getting fed up of all this painting though. Right, you can see the base rail is a split rail system. This balustrade has been designed so that there's nowhere for water to pool. It also makes fitting the spindles a piece of cake. So often you see decking where the base rail has an upward facing insert which acts as a water trough. Madness. With my system here, any rain runs down the spindle and straight off the bottom. Nothing on my balustrade will rot because nothing is ever going to be sitting in water. The spindles go in quickly. They're attached to an angle bracket at the top and are fixed through pre-drilled holes in the base rail at the bottom with stainless steel bolts. I took time to source these bolts because I knew they would be visible. No reason why functional can't mean beautiful. These bolts are gorgeous, a feature in their own right. I've designed everything on this railing system to be demountable. The spindles can come out in seconds should they need replacing, then the base rails and handrail can be removed in seconds too, and after that the posts might take a minute or two. So there's no reason why this balcony can't last another 120 years. Right, finishing off, the boots are attached. And inserts go into the underside of the handrail. And with that, we are done. So quite the transformation, from a dangerous, failing structure to something elegant, traditional and properly engineered. It looks thoroughly Edwardian too. The problems that destroyed the original balcony have been engineered away. Now then, I think I've earned a cup of tea in the morning sun. Jones the Splinter, signing off. Hwyl fawr.